So this is numbers 7 through 12 on your study guide. So again, always starting with the GCF, what I notice is that I can take a 2 out of both of these terms, and I notice that they both have an x. The smallest exponent is 1, so that's the most I can take out, and that's all that they would have in common. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. I see I have an x, but I need x squared, so I'm missing an x. And I'm definitely missing that entire y to the 4th power. So now I bring down the subtraction sign. 2 times 2 gives me 4. And then I don't need an x because they both have an x, so this would be our answer. Now I see a subtraction sign in 2 terms, but these are not perfect squares, so this is not a difference of 2 squares, which means this is as far as we can go. Looking at number 8, again starting with the GCF. I see that there is not a number on both of these, so I'm not pulling out a number, but I see they both have an x. The smallest exponent is a 2, that's the most I can take out. Then I look and I see they both have a y, and the smallest exponent is a 1, that's the most I can take out. So here we go. X squared times what gives me x cubed? Well, I'm missing an x. 2 plus 1 would give me 3 x's. And notice I only have one y, I'm missing a y, so there we go. Minus, I don't have a 16, so I got to bring that down. And notice I've got an x squared, so I'm not missing any x's. And notice I have a y, so I'm not missing any y's. So that would be our final answer here. Again, double check. This is 2 terms, and I see a subtraction sign. This is a perfect square, but this one's not, so this cannot be factored any farther. That would be my final answer. On number 9, always start with the GCF because I see everything here is divisible by 2. So we want to divide a 2 out of everything first. That would give me x squared plus 9x plus 12. And now what I see is I see a trinomial here. And so on number 9, we want to go ahead and see if we can come up with 2 numbers that multiply together to give me 12, add together to give me 9. So 1 and 12 would give me 13. 2 and 6 would give me 8. 3 and 4 would give me 7. And that's it, I'm out of numbers. There's nothing here that will work. And we don't say prime because we were able to take out a GCF here. That just means that we can't factor this any farther. This is it. Number 10. On number 10, we want to go ahead and look, and we see that we have a leading coefficient that's something other than 1, and there is no GCF. It is a trinomial, so we're going to start by doing 2 times 12, which is 24, and then we put that negative 11 side here. If we did negative 8 times negative 3, that gives me 24. Negative 8 plus negative 3 is negative 11. So we have 2x squared, we have minus 8x, then we would have minus 3x, and that would be plus 12 if we bring everything down. We're going to group the first 2. So we have 2x squared minus 8x would be in the first group. Always put an addition sign, and then open the parenthesis up, bringing that negative inside with it. GCF out of the first one here would be 2x times x minus 4 here would give me this inside. And then a GCF here, see that negative? That has to come out because it's on that front term. So both of those terms are divisible by 3. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 4, negative 4, let's try that. Negative 4 would give me positive 12. So they do match on the inside, so my final answer would be x minus 4 times the GCF here and here would give me the second parenthesis, 2x minus 3. So we box that, and that's our final answer. If I look at number 11, I do see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, and so I should try this by grouping. If you have 4 terms, you need to factor by grouping. So my first group is going to be 4x to the 5th plus 6x to the 3rd. Always put an addition sign. Then we have 6x squared plus 9. So the GCF that I see I can take out of both of these numbers would be a 2. They both have an x, and the smallest exponent is a 3, so that's the most I can take out. So 2 times 2 is 4, and notice I've got 3 x's. I'm missing 2, and then I have plus 2 times 3 is 6, and notice they both have x to the 3rd power, so I'm missing that, so I'm done. The GCF out of this one is a 3. 3 times 2x squared gives me 6x squared, and 3 times 3 gives me 9. I do have a match on the inside. So 2x squared plus 3 from the parentheses here, and then this one is 2x cubed plus 3. These aren't exactly the same, so we have to box this, and this is our final answer. Alright, so number 12, we start with our GCF. I see that each of these is divisible by 3, and I see each of these has an x, so my GCF is a 3x. 3x times 3x squared is 9x cubed. 3x times 4x is 12x squared. And then 3x times negative 15 is going to give me negative 45x. Then we want to go off to the side here. We want to make that little factor x. So we have a 3 times negative 15 is negative 45. And then we would have a 4 here. Let's see, 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. 9 plus negative 5 is 4. So we're going to bring that GCF down here. And we're going to go ahead and bring down the 3x squared. Then we would have plus 9x. That would make my first group. Plus, we're going to bring down that negative 5x minus 15 here. Will be my second group. And now we're going to take that GCF out. So here that 3x comes down. And then we would have times the GCF of both of these would be 3x. So 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 3 is 9x. The GCF here would be negative 5. So negative 5 times x would be negative 5x. Negative 5 times positive 3 would be negative 15. And now we're ready for our final answer, which I'm going to have to kind of write here to the side and down. So our final answer, we have that 3x here. So we got 3x times, then I have inside here x plus 3 times this 3x minus 5. So multiplied by this 3x minus 5. Sorry, I couldn't get that all on one line, but that should all be on one line. That would be your final answer.